Welcome back to The Power and the Glory. Before I go any further, please like, share and subscribe. It really does help with the Google algorithm. You know, we worship as Christians a God where nothing is impossible. And nowhere is this better seen than in Jeremiah chapter 32, verse 17. To give a context here, Jeremiah was known as the weeping prophet, and he spent his whole life trying to bring his people back into alignment with God, warning of them of coming catastrophe if they didn't align themselves with him. So in this passage, Jeremiah finds himself imprisoned in Jerusalem during the Babylonian siege, so in a difficult position. I'll read the scripture now. Our sovereign Lord, you have made the heavens and earth by your great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. The verse is just part of the prophet Jeremiah's prayer, where he proclaims God's limitless power as the creator, affirming that nothing is beyond his ability to accomplish. First, we'll look at God as creator. The verse begins by recognizing God as sovereign Lord and creator. The inference here is that God possesses abundant creator power. Next, your great power and outstretched arm. What does this mean? Well, according to most biblical sources, this applies to God's deliverance of his people by Moses from the authoritarian rule of Pharaoh in Egypt. And then finally, nothing is too hard for you. Well, this ending statement shows that in Jeremiah's mind, nothing is beyond the resources and power of God. He is all-powerful, he is omnipotent, and nothing is too hard for him to accomplish. It's worth noting that later on in the chapter, God reaffirms this statement in Jeremiah 32:27, where he proclaims, "Is anything too difficult for me?" So during this whole process, when he's in prison, God does something unexpected. He asks Jeremiah to buy some land that is at present under Babylonian control. Jeremiah is encouraged by God to see this as a statement of faith, and the promise by God is that this shows his forward commitment to the people of Israel. In other words, buy land that is occupied by the Babylonians, the Chaldeans at the moment, but it will be returned to you and the people of Israel. So ultimately the verse shows that God sees beyond present circumstances, and his people, including Jeremiah, should look forward to the days when their land will be restored to them. It's all about trusting and acknowledging God's omnipotent power, and he will achieve the impossible in time. In all situations, then, our takeout is that God is our sovereign Lord, and there's nothing too hard for him to accomplish.